So there's a lot of fear in the crypto market right now as people are worried that the Federal Reserve is going to increase interest rates at a faster rate than they initially had said. In today's video, I want to talk about what you should be doing as a crypto investor, some of the biggest stories with Cardano and Solana, and everything else going on. So if you enjoy short and concise content, I'd appreciate it if you like the video. Let's see if we get the video up to 1,000 likes and just help support the channel. So right now, one of the biggest issues in the market, why we have seen the crypto market fall substantially over the last 24 hours, is because that the market is betting on sharpest pace of Fed tightening since 1994. And what we're seeing right now is that money market traders are pricing in a future 225 basis points of interest rate hikes in 2022. And this is in addition to the 25 basis points delivered in March. And why is this important? Well, the reason why this is important is because the Fed hasn't done this much tightening, hasn't put, increased interest rates at this fast of a rate since 1994. And so because of this, there's a lot of fear in the market and people are taking money out of higher risk assets, higher risk investments, moving it over to safer investments. And so that is why we have been seeing a lot of fear in both the stock market and in crypto. But one of the biggest crypto bulls, Mike Novogratz, came out and said that once the Fed pauses increasing interest rates, and once they stop all of this tightening that we've been seeing with policies, he expects that Bitcoin is going to go to the moon. And it's not just him who's saying this. We're seeing a lot of people in the crypto space and traditional financial markets saying, look, right now, yes, we're going to see a lot of people move away from more high risk investments. But once the Federal Reserve stops this, people are going to be pouring a lot of money into Bitcoin and crypto in particular to hedge against inflation because it's not tied directly to any market in the world. And people are going to be using Bitcoin and crypto as a place to store their money. So this is something just to keep in mind. Right now, yes, we're going to be in a bit of a bumpy ride over the next couple of months and really next couple of weeks especially. But long term, we're going to see a lot of this money pour into crypto. And in my opinion, you don't want to miss out when that does start to happen. When people do start pouring more and more money into crypto after tax season, after all of these policies have been already put in place, you don't want to miss out. So me personally, I've just been continuing to dollar cost average into a number of positions, but let me know you and what you guys have been doing in the comments down below. Now let's talk a little bit about what's been going on with Cardano, because over the last couple of days, we've been seeing a lot of excitement with Cardano. One of the biggest stories is that Cardano has recently added 450,000 wallets to its network since the beginning of 2022. We've been seeing around 5,000 added every single day, and this is important because this shows us that for people who are bullish on Cardano, that while we have seen prices fall substantially from record highs, what we're seeing is ultimately the network is growing, more people are using it, more developers are building on it, and it's just a matter of time before we start seeing Cardano's price reclaim those all-time highs and continue even higher. Next thing I want to talk about is going to be with another altcoin, which is Solana, because recently Solana has actually been performing pretty well. Broke back above that $100 per coin mark, continued its way higher. And a lot of this has to do with, first of all, institutions investing heavily into Solana. It is the third highest in terms of inflows, the third highest altcoin in terms of inflows for institutions. Only ones higher are, let's say, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then Solana. But what we're also seeing is that OpenSea actually launched and started supporting today Solana-based NFTs for the first time ever. And since this article has been published, since I talked about it on Twitter earlier in the day, OpenSea has removed this functionality, has removed Solana NFTs, but really what we have seen is that they already made the announcement that they're going to add Solana NFTs, and what we saw earlier in the day was really just like a beta test of them actually implementing it. So a lot of people did see it, but not fully functional on the website just yet, but they did put some Solana NFTs and Solana NFT functionality on their website, and really just going to be a matter of a couple weeks before we see it fully launched on OpenSea. And what we've seen is that Solana NFTs have seen a pretty substantial volume in March and in February of 2022. In March of 2022, we saw $173 million of volume for Solana NFTs, and now that they're going to launch on OpenSea, this is going to help Solana's price. We're going to see more people be able to access Solana NFTs very easily. People aren't going to have to go to like Magic Eden or Solana or another NFT marketplace. They're going to be able to do it directly on OpenSea. So this is not only going to help Solana's price, but also any Solana NFTs you may be holding. I'm expecting big price increases for all of those in the coming months. Now let's talk a little bit about what's going on with Bitcoin whales. What we've seen is that Luna came out, and Luna Foundation, they said that they just purchased another 5,040 Bitcoin over the last 24 hours. So while the market has been falling, one of the biggest whales in the entire crypto space has been adding hundreds of millions of dollars of Bitcoin to their positions. And what we can see is, you can see, according to their wallet tracker, they bought 5,040 BTC. Now their total wallet is up to 35,767 Bitcoin. So it's still worth well above $1 billion, but they have plans of adding another $1.5 billion in this month alone. So it'll be exciting to see what happens with this, and if they continue to buy Bitcoin as much as they had originally planned. They had said that in April of 2022, they were expecting to really have $3 billion worth of Bitcoin in their wallet, and they're still right on track. They're adding hundreds of millions of dollars every couple of days, so we'll see what happens there. But this is great for anyone who is investing in crypto long term, because whale accounts like MicroStrategy and Luna Foundation have no plans of selling Bitcoin anytime soon. So every time they buy it, it's just taking Bitcoin off of exchanges. And last thing I want to talk about is going to be what is going on with Bitcoin supply. So a post came out on Twitter earlier that I saw from Bellboy, which shows the balance of Bitcoin on exchanges over the last couple of years. And if we're looking at this chart right here, we can see that Bitcoin supply in exchanges is at a multi-year low, lower than we have seen really in the last 4 or 5 years. And last time that we saw Bitcoin at this like low of a supply on exchanges, its price was at $7,200 per coin. If we zoom in right here, you can see that we broke below like a resistance we had, and now Bitcoin supply is just continuing to drop lower and lower. And this is a great sign for anyone in crypto, because even though we're seeing prices continue to fall, we're seeing a little bit of a correction take place right now as we're speaking. This long term is going to lead to a supply squeeze, where when people start getting back into the crypto space and people want to buy Bitcoin, it's not going to be on exchanges. It's going to already be in cold storage. Whale accounts are going to have it. Retail investors are already going to have taken it off of exchanges, and that is going to help increase the price of Bitcoin very, very quickly. So if you're not in crypto, you have some money on the side, like use these opportunities right now to get into projects that you may have wanted to dollar cost average into. Use this as an opportunity to add to your positions, because all data is indicating right now that as soon as the Federal Reserve stops increasing rates, and they continue, they already implement all their policies. As soon as we see a couple more things happen in the market, well, Bitcoin is going to increase very rapidly. So I'm going to continue to add to my positions, not really worry about these short-term fluctuations, because in terms of all the data right now, it is inevitable that we're going to see Bitcoin rise very quickly to $100,000 per coin and continue higher. It's just a matter of time, and I don't want to miss out on that opportunity. So let me know your thoughts on the overall market, but I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. See ya.